And I'm going to share my screen with you. And that, you should be able to see my lesson 7 right now. And again, it just reminds you we don't, even though the book uses things like X and Y and I for variables, you should not do that, okay? You should think of something like index, count, things like that. I gave you this program here to look at. I think I have one open already that I don't. There it is, yeah. So let me open up my NetBeans and show you what's inside that has next fun. It's cold out this morning. I went up to Starbucks and it was cold.
Did you get your free coffee today?
You know, I did not.
Oh.
I think you have to, I think it says you have to mobile order it, and then they give you a free one tomorrow or
yeah,
something.
because it's what? I think it's coffee day, National Coffee Day today.
Yeah.
Hey, I do have a quick question.
Okay.
On NetBeans, does anybody else run into this? Like, I start a new project and I hit run and it says run successful or build successful, but then it never shows anything down below. Like, I have to close out of my NetBeans, relaunch it, run it again, and then it finally like runs the program.
Do you always go down here to the bottom and close them all? If you have multiple ones running, and that happens when you're working on your stuff, you know, you run it and then you stop and then you change something in that. And so you have multiple ones. You'll see down here sometimes that you'll have 10. It happens to me a lot because when I'm grading,
I close them.
Yeah, those. And the other thing you might try is under run, clean and build.
Okay.
Sometimes helps. Okay.
Okay.
That's the only reason I would know. But there's some weird stuff sometimes that, if you might have seen mine, when I go to put in scanner, when I type in scanner all the time,
it pops up something different.
Yeah, it pops up something different. So.
Okay, thank you.
It's just the way of a programmer, you know. All right. So I wrote this program. So you go out there, you download it off, and then you unzip it. And you're going to get this is the program. And I'll show you what it does here. So it says, please enter a positive integer. And if I type in the letter, oops, don't do that, Doug. If I type in a letter down here, like the letter A, and it says that's not a positive integer. If I type in 1.2, that's not a positive integer. If I type in -10, it says that's, please enter a positive integer, okay? If I type in 3, then it moves on. Then it asks me, please enter a floating point number. So if I type in A, that's not, okay? But if I type in 1.2, it goes on and keeps going. If I would have even typed in an integer, it would have taken it, because it would put in, like, if I put in 1, it would say 1.0. Okay. Here, this is a Boolean, so if I type in A, it doesn't like that. If I type in T for true, it doesn't like that. But if I type in false, it likes that. Okay. And then it asks me, do I want to run again? And on this one, I think I just have it as that. But looking at the code over here, the first one's interesting because I said a positive integer. So not only is, so this first loop here, this outer loop, or I'm sorry, the second loop in, checks to see whether or not it is an integer. But then I have also this, it checks to see, once it has the number, the outer loop here checks to see if in fact it's less than 0 or equal to 0. If it is, it keeps running and keeps asking you for a number because I didn't want negative numbers. The second one is asking for your floating point. So it's strictly this part right here, this while loop. Here's our initialization, comes here, comes down here, says what they typed or get what they type in. If it isn't a double, then they get the 2 error messages, clear the buffer, and then it comes back up and keeps beating them up until in fact we get a double, which is saved to number 2. Same thing here with the Boolean, if they don't enter true or false. I'm not a big fan of this in that I don't like my users having to type the whole word true in or false in. So what I could do is I could manipulate this to, if they type in a T, it's true. If it's F, it's false. And I'd probably do that rather than doing this. And then, of course, we have our do loop that keeps our program running until the user is decides they want to quit. Again, you should memorize, or you should have this about memorized by now, where we input a string that is then chopped up into a character. And it's always, you can use uppercase or lowercase, depending on what you're going to put in here. If you want to put in a small letter Y, then you need to change this to lowercase right here. Okay. So I gave you that example that you surely should use to your benefit, because again, if there's numbers to be input, I'm going to check whether or not I'm going to try and make it crash. Let's put it that way.
When I was doing the binary calculator thing or the converter, I was having that problem. When I would run it the second time, it would just add the digits onto the end of the last one before.
Yeah,
it took me a little bit to finally figure that out, but I did.
Yeah, there you go. Any questions over that? All right. So let's go back to the programs here. Okay. So on the first one here, it's complete compound. And again, you're going to be putting in money, interest. So you're going to have to check all these. The first 3 things should have a has next, right? Because you're going to put in a double, and an integer. Because we need our interest rate. And be specific there, okay? A lot of times what I see, it'll say, enter the interest rate. Well, how do you want it? If it's 10%, do you want me to type 10? Or do you want me to type 0.1? Which would definitely make a big difference, right? So make sure you say, enter the fractional interest rate, or enter the percentage or something to that effect. And maybe even give them an example, you know, for 10, do this or something like that. Amount of monthly deposits, we're going to assume that you're starting at 0. Okay. My example is that I'm going to change this for you here for a second. Get in here so that you have this information. I thought I changed, I must have changed it on the other classes. So let's go ahead and change it, or do this. If you run 10% with a deposit of $100 a month for 12 months, the result should be $1,267.03. Okay. So there's that one. So if you don't get that, if you don't get 1267.03, you have something wrong. Oh, I put a. On the next one, it's the ISBN number. So if you flip your book over or find any book in your house that's newer than 10 years ago, it'll have a 13-digit ISBN number on the back. Okay, so all books are defined like that. Okay. And so you're going to do what's called a checksum. So the first 12 numbers dictate what the 13th number is going to be. Okay. So depending, you can see here, you add all the odd digits into a sum, and then you multiply all the even digits by 3 and add them together into a sum, or you can sum them and then multiply by 3, it doesn't matter. Then you add the even and odd numbers together. Then you get the modulus remainder of dividing 10 into your sum. Okay. So in other words, if you ended up with 47 and you get the modulus of dividing 10 into 47, you would end up with 7, right? And then subtract 10 unless the answer is 10. Then the checksum would be 0. So anyway, that's how it works. Now, what I'm going to tell you on this one is that if you don't get the same number as on the back of your book, okay, but you think you got all the calculations right, chances are instead of add all the odd digits together, you added the evens together in this step. Okay, so you need to switch your counts. Okay, you need to switch. You need to switch which ones you're calling odd and which ones you're calling even, if in fact you think you did it right. Any questions on those two? Okay, the one we're going to do in class today is craps. And again, basically what they play in a casino. If you've never played before, it's played with 2 dice. So I roll the dice. And if I get a 7 or 11 on the first roll, I win. Game is over. If I roll a 2, 3, or a 12, okay, I lose and the game is over. Now, the most rolled number on dice is what? Probability-wise.
Is it 8?
No. What number has the most combinations possible?
7.
Yep, 7. 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 3 and 4. 3 and 4. 5 and 2, da 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 da. Okay, and 6 and 1. So 7 is the most. So on the first roll, your odds of winning are the highest they're going to become. And then they throw in 11. I don't know why. The least number probability numbers, what are they?
Two and 12.
Yep, 2 and 12. There's only one combination that you get 2 from, and there's only one combination you get 12 from. So those 5 numbers end the game. If it doesn't end there, you either rolled a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, and your game continues. And the game keeps going until one of two things happen. One, you re-roll another 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10, whichever one is your point, okay? Or you roll a 7. If you roll a 7, you lose. If you roll, let's say my point is 6, I keep rolling, and as long as I don't roll a 7, I keep trying to get another 6. If I get another 6, I win. If I roll a 7, I lose. And that's the basics of the game. Okay. Now, if you're at the casino, it's a little bit more complicated because of the betting, because you can bet, am I going to roll an odd? Am I going to roll an even? Am I going to crap out the first time? Am I going to win the first time? Blah, 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 blah. And then you can bet on the numbers too that are going to be rolled. Okay. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try and create one of these. That works pretty well. So let's go over here and new project. And I think today I'm going to call it the, I don't like the word crap for some reason. But that's what it's called. Acme Dice Game. How's that? All right, so our project today is going to be the Acme Dice Game. And my this is going to be Acme Dice Game .java. And the date today is actually the 29th of September, 2020. And the author is you. And our purpose today, I think that's even good enough, just like that. I'm going to do this. So the user doesn't have to do anything except run the game, okay? That's all they really even need to do. But we are going to ask them, do they want to play again? So I am going to have to import a scanner. And now my computer will lock up, I think. You know, I figured out what it is. I type too fast, and that little menu that comes up, I think it isn't registered by the time I hit the button to, and I'm going to use this random. You again can use the math random if you wish to do so. Two different randoms, or two different ways to do random. And then I'm going to clean this up down here because I just like it nice and clean, and I like my braces lined up. And that'll become important later on in your career. And I'll move these over. I like indentation. There we go. All right. So now that I have these up here, I need to instantiate them. Okay, so I'm going to start with my scanner, and I'll just say scanner. I'm going to call it roll 'em. Oh no, that ain't a good one. That's what I'm going to call my random scanner. I'll just say user in. is a new scanner. Oops, don't want to do that. You guys can talk once in a while and then I'll know you're alive. Random. What did I say I was going to call this? Roll them. Whoops. All right. Oh, what do I want to call it? I want to call it char. Roll again, maybe. We'll just say play again. And again, this is a single quote on my Y here because it's a char, not a string. And that is the initiation for my do loop, right?
Correct.
There you go. And we'll put start our first loop there. I could even indent all this a little bit more. I like how that works. And do there. What's this one here? That's that one. That's cool. All right. So I'm going to come here and put some space in there a little bit. And then here I need my incrementation. Something like that, maybe. And this, of course, will be, what do I call it? Play again. Any of you guys watch on, I tried to watch this show on Amazon yesterday. It's called Utopia.
I seen it on there, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh, it's brutal. I can stand a little bit of violence, but man, couldn't do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old or something. So here's our while loop goes here. And now while, play again, is equal to a y. It'll play again, or it should. So once we get this like this, we can run it and make sure that in fact it does what we want it to do. And if I type in a Y, or I type in yak, I can type a lowercase y, and if I type anything else, it quits. And that's what I'm looking for. Once I have that, the first thing I'm probably going to do is I want to create my dice. So int die1. What do I got going here? Very strange. It ran fine. What did I do?
It's only when you type the int in for me.
Oh, is it? Is that what
Yeah.
popped it?
Yep.
Okay. So this is going to be roll them. And of course, this should be a 6. Well, I can't have a 0, and it only goes to 5, so I need to add 1. And then you can either retype that or just do this number here. Control C, go down here, Control V. I don't know what happened there. Backspace 1. Change this to a 2. Okay. And here I'm going to have system.out.print. I'll tell you something. The reason I print them out, again, I know, people say, well, the computer, how do I know those are? Well, you don't, but at least you should show them. Again, you're supposed to be rolling 2 dice. If you only show the total, then why have 2 dice? You could just say roll a number or just create a number between 1 and 12, right? So I do this. I'm going to just say, Control D, maybe not. Die 1 is a D, and die 2, I'm going to move that up close to it. Is a D. So I like that.
What does that %D do again?
It's formatting for a integer. So we can go here and then do die 1, die 2. And then if we run it now, we can check. Oops, I said die 1 looks like D. I don't like that. Is a 4, die 2 is a 5, play again. Okay, so I missed a couple of things I need to fix here. Is this should be a /n. So we get a line feed there. I don't like that this is die 1 there, die 2 there, something like that. Let's see what it looks like now. See, I didn't close out right, so I gotta close here. Get my run back. So that looks much better. Die 1 is a 1 and die 2 is a 2. And then you can, if you hit Y, die 1 is a 3, die 2 is a 2, die 1 is a 2, die 2 is a 1. Geez. Die 1 is a 4, die 2. So you just kind of want to make sure you're getting like lots of numbers. I got a 5 and a 5 there, 4 and a 1 there, 3 and a 5. I ain't making any 6s here. So I might keep running until I get at least, there's a 6. Okay. So they should be right now. I should be able to, there, I got 6s for both. I think I got all the numbers now. So I'm pretty happy with it. So I can just hit an M or whatever and stop the program. So that's that. So then I need a total. So total, oops, in total will be equal to die 1 plus die 2. And that's good. Okay. And come on, roll. So we got that. All right. So once I get to there, do I want to put that in? Okay, yeah, let's do that too. So we can do a system dot out. And let's move these together. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this, move it up here, and then I'm going to move this down one. And then I'm going to get rid of this space here. Kind of glomp all that together, because that's where I'm actually getting my first numbers. So does everybody's work up to that point? I'm going to run it and show you what it should look like. So I got die 1 as a 4 and die 2 as a 2. And darn it, I forgot to put my /n in here. 4 and 2 is equal to 6, so that looks good. So we just need a /n right here. Anybody's that's doing this that has one that isn't running, or that you don't see why it isn't running? I'll give you a second here to catch up.
Works so far for me.
I guess the better question is, do you understand how we're building this so far? Again, step by step, making sure every time, again, because once we start making bigger and bigger and bigger programs, you don't want to sit there and type for an hour and then press the button and it doesn't work. Okay? You should check all the time, does my stuff work as you go along? It's a lot easier if I know that, wait a minute, my dice isn't rolling right. Then when I get down to the end and I've got 20 things going on, which one isn't the correct one? Which one's causing the problem? If I know as I go that each one worked, okay. Oh, my mailman must be here. It's a daily thing at about 10 o'clock. I don't know why. My dogs are pretty friendly, but they just don't like the mailman.
Man, I wish my mail came that early.
Some days I wish mine never came at all. Jeez, it just seems like bills. And I'm getting all this political junk right now, of course. Okay, so nobody's squabbling that they don't know what's going on. Nobody's saying they can't get it to run. So now we need to make the decisions. So we've gotten let's just put this up here, because in reality at this point, these were our inputs. So then if I come down here, now I'm going to do some processing. Again, inputs, processes, and outputs. That's at least the 3 things your program usually does. Okay. So now I want to determine if my total is equal to 7 or my total is equal to 11, what happens?
You win.
I win. Yeah. So uh, okay. And then else if total is equal to snake eyes or tray or boxcars. And sometimes you can even, if you wanted to, you could go in and make these constants. Like, and you could name them like a 2 is usually snake eyes. You could call this one boxcars, this one tray, stuff like that. You can dress this up if you wanted to. Again, if you were doing it commercially. Watch your spelling. Again, I almost. No, that's mean. Too mean. We want to keep them playing. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And then let's see, let's do an, oops, sorry. We have an else here. Now, this is everything else we took care of 2, 3, 7, 11, and 12. So that leaves us everything else. So this is really inside of here, deals with the point. So it would be 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. So now I got my total there. My total, if I declare it, let's see. No, it's inside the big loop, so that's fine. So its scope is inside the big loop because I'm going to go into another loop here. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do a do. Okay. And I need to roll again. Okay. Because I already got my point, which is I'm just going to call it total. Here we're going to have basically the same thing as we had up here. Let's just go up here and copy it. Bring it down here, drop it in here. Whoa. We need to get rid of that. Go indent to there. Because we already have these variables initialized, we don't need to tell the system what they are again. We do need to change this one's name. Because we already have a variable called total. So this one here is going to be total 2. And I think we can just leave it initialized inside this inner loop. All right, so let's go ahead and tell them what they rolled. So we're going to go back up here. And let's go here. Copy that. Come down here, paste it in. And this will be die 1 and die 2 again. But this one here we need to change because this should be total 2 this time. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. So now, roll 2. Let's run that. Oh, it's running again here. See what happens. We kind of got it. Whoops, I got an error there because I didn't. Okay, this loop is where, that's the else there. This is my while loop, and this is going to be while. I want to keep going while, and I'm going to make it so the total 2 is not equal to 7. That means even if I have a winner, underneath that, I'm going to put that it's a 7, or change the total to a 7 in part of that. Let's see here. If I do that, I wanted to. So to stop it from running, I'm going to need to put in here. Well, for right now, I'll just put total 2 is equal to 7, or is assigned 7. And we'll see what happened. Whoa, what happened here? Oh, I know. Okay, I cannot declare total 2 inside this loop because then it's only good in there. And this while right here is outside the loop. So I need to take this off and go up here outside the loop and initialize my total 2 here. And let's see if it'll run this time. There you go. Die 1 is a 4. So, and die 2 is a 5, so that's 9. Die 1 is a 6, and die 2 is a 4. And your roll total is 10. So it's running. Again, I don't have it where it's deciding whether or not I won or not yet. So it's not going to keep going at this point. But it looks like it's working okay. So inside this loop, I need to have another decision. If total is equal to total 2, And so once they win, we can make it stop the loop by just saying here, move that total 2 inside there, as if they lost. And then we'd have the else here. And system.out.print line. Oops, there's an error there. And this right here is your total 2. And this is an error up here on my part. So that's you roll that works there. This one will be F. Although we know this one's a 7. And that total 2 is going to be a 7 in this case, so I don't have to put that back in. So let's see what it looks like now when we run it. That was a good one. So here I rolled a 5 and a 4. My total was a 9. And then I rolled an 8. I rolled a 6. Uh-oh, what happened here? Better next time we rolled. I got something wrong here. Oh, jeez. I'm missing my. If. Um, 7 goes there, I think. So if that goes that way, I lose. And then let's try that now. Four, 2, 4, your roll is 5. 8, 3. What did I roll the first time? 6. So it keeps going. I rolled a 7 here, I lost. So then I can end the game if I want, because I need to fix this. Fix that. And of course, somebody trying to. So I got that fixed. What else was wrong with that? Anything? That should go down on the line. That's good. So that did work. That was a good one because it lasted a long time. Okay, here's one. Oh, this is the same one here. Okay, let's check that out because that might not be good. Was I just lucky the first time? Or are my variables in the wrong? Oh, there we go. That worked. Hit Y, run it again. So I got a 6 and I rolled a 7, so I lost. So that looks good. Hit Y again. There's a long one. Wow. So I rolled a 5 or a 9, and I rolled a 5, 8, 8, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, 8. I needed a 9, and I rolled a 7, so I lost. This one I rolled a 10, 9, 5, and then I rolled a 10 again. So I won. I'm missing a slash n in that one too. So I need a slash n here somewhere, right here. Okay, and I'll put this up like that for a second so you guys can because mine seems to be working well right now. So if you have this typed in correctly, we're going to just, I got one other thing I want to do is that put in a banner. Now I could have written the same program using a switch. I'll tell you, up here, or that, I just like how it's like this. I get rid of the 7, 11 here. I get rid of the 2, 3, and 12 here. Everything else is done down here. Okay. So where am I going to put I think I'll put my banner right here. So that every time do a slash n here. Oh, I had to print lines. I'm going to take out that extra one. So I lose again. See, now this divides it up so it looks better. Oh man, I lost again. Don't go to the boat today, Doug. 3 times in a row, I lose. 4 times in a row, I lose. I lose 5 times in a row. Man, bad day at the boats. 6 times. Hey, what do you know? Finally, I won one. All right, I don't like the double here. So I'm going to take this out because I had an LN here. I didn't need that extra one here. So I'm going to save that. And then I would put this in my portfolio as craps or dice game, or that looks much better. Hey, I got a winner the first time. Lost the second one. But I like the way that looks better. 2 out of 3. Well, 2 out of 4. So yeah, 50%. So what do you guys think?
I think it's good. It's done.
Tell your parents or that Mr. Peterson's teaching gambling or something like that. And then outside the whole schmear here, just before your main, let's go here. System.out.print line. Like that. And out here, I'm just going to put and I'm done. I'm going to just, since we're recording this, I'm just going to slowly do this so that anybody that wasn't here can get the main. All right. Okay, any questions about anything we covered today? This program, as you saw, has a lot of nested things in it. We got ifs, we got do's inside of do's. We've got ifs inside of, else ifs inside of ifs. We've got, we got like 3 different do while loops going. So I think it's a good practice program. Any questions?
Not really. The examples that you showed at the beginning for the different types of
Has next.
yeah, those were really helpful.
Yeah. This one you don't have a problem with having to check them, right? Because you're the one. The computer is randomly generating. You're not getting any numbers from the user, so you don't have to worry too much about about checking your numbers. Okay. You might want to start the ISBN number one before Thursday. And that way, if you have problems when you come to class Thursday, probably be lab time or that. But we'll take, come to class because in case I think it's something we need to do. But if you come with problems with the ISBN one, maybe as a group we can resolve them. Okay? So take a look at that one before Thursday. Might be a good idea. Anything else we need to look at? All right, let's call it a day, and I'll have this video up later today. And of course, I have an office hours starting at 11 o'clock. So if you have other problems that you didn't want to bring up here, surely come on back if you want to. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye,
Have a good day.
guys. Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.
Try and stay warm.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, sir. Will, you got anything?